Hey folks, it's Keith, and tonight I'm in the WR250R garage. Just got something from FedEx today. This is the Giant Loop Coyote bag, 39 liter, and it's the roll top design. The earlier models used a zipper. This one's got a roll top just like a normal dry bag. I'm going to try to get this thing fitted to the bike tonight and maybe see how much stuff we can put into it. I've got a camping trip coming up this weekend. I would love to take the WR if I can get everything I need inside. So let's take a look at the fitment right now. Now before we go through the installation, I just want to show you a little close-up of the bag and the details. It's got these legs on either side of the seat. And what I liked about this was that I didn't need to put racks on the bike, which add weight, and I'm not going to be traveling all the time, so I don't need to have racks on 24/7. So I like this design. Now, here's the roll top here. You see this opens up, and you've got your storage on both sides plus on the top. All right, so let's try to install this thing. So on the bottom of the bag are these hooks that go to the subframe. One here and one here. And then go inside the bag. You flip back this piece here and there are buckles to adjust these. So let's try that now. Let's try to stuff it and see what we can get in there. Here's my tent, which is a two-person tent. You just want something a little bit bigger so you've got some room to put your stuff and stretch out. So this is something that needs to go. Okay, that fits in one of the legs. That's good. Also got this camping chair, and I got a thermarest pad. So I put a thermarest pad in, camping chair, tent. This is my sleeping bag. I'll be needing to pack some clothes. Now this is another thermarest pad, but it'll just take up kind of the space my clothes might take. I don't pack much in the way of clothes, just a few pairs of synthetic things that I can wash and dry out. Okay, now let's fold this up. So I've got the Coyote bag loaded up for a weekend camping trip, and I was actually pretty impressed that I was able to get in everything I needed. I've got a two-person tent, a camping chair, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad, my clothes, a spare tube, some tire irons, and a camp towel, and maybe a couple other minor things. I was pretty impressed. It took a lot of work to get everything in there. I had to do some packing and repacking. And, you know, it's really a challenge because they give you some dry bags. There's 3 dry bags in there because the outer shell is not waterproof. And just trying to get the dry bags in there in the right shape, it took me several times. It probably took me an hour to just pack the bike, and I've had to pack it a couple times just to get everything right. A couple things I noticed is, one is, you know, trying to stretch stuff in here. You can already see here that some of the seams are starting to pull a little bit. I was kind of surprised at that. The other thing is just getting the two top straps that go on the fender or the subframe. I don't think you can, one of the hooks is right there. Boy, it was really tough to pull those straps tight. I ended up having to get a pair of vice grips just to try to get them to the point where I could tighten them up. But what I do like about this bag is the adjustability and the harness points. So on the front, you've got one strap on each side that goes to the foot peg hanger. And then you've got one strap here is kind of tightens up your leg, I'll call it, for lack of a better term. And then you've got one strap on each side that does your roll top that you can cinch in here. And now on the top, you've got this beaver tail here where you can strap an additional, maybe a dry bag or something. I put this bottle in here just to show if you wanted to put some fuel canisters or something, you could definitely strap something more in here without it looking too bad. And I'm really pleased with the way it looks and the way it's spaced out. It's not heavy. I don't really even feel it. I think it's going to work out pretty well for my trip. I will do some videos on my trip just so people can kind of see how it works. You know, we'll do kind of a report. You know, the shape of it is kind of like a human body minus the torso. So it's got the weight distributed pretty well. I think it looks pretty decent too. And, you know, I'm pretty happy with the results. Now, the one thing I wanted to show, I know everyone's going to ask about, is the heat in the muffler. Now, at first I didn't put a heat shield on, and I just decided it was a little bit close, especially up here. There was several inches between the bag and the pipe. Now, this has got a really great heat shield on from the factory, but I added the Giant Loop heat shield here. And, you know, as you can see, there's really no point where the bag comes close to touching the muffler. There's a nice gap in here that I think will spread some air and keep it cool. So I'm not worried about the bag burning through. And that's just something you really got to pay attention to because there's no warranty on that. The bag is $360, so you don't want to ruin it. So I'll take it out, hopefully on a shakedown run, just to make sure everything has got some good clearance and it will be ready to go. So if you have any questions on the Giant Loop Coyote, let me know. We'll do some additional videos to see how the bag holds up on a weekend camping trip. Overall, pretty happy. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.